Okay, we can also multiply monomials and polynomials, or we can multiply a polynomial by a polynomial. So here, let's first take a look at an example. We have a monomial. So that's 3b to the fifth. And we're multiplying that by a polynomial. Since it's right out in front of the parentheses, that implies multiplication. Okay, so what we're going to do now is we're going to take this monomial and we're going to multiply it with everything on the inside of this binomial here. So we're going to take this 3b to the fifth and we're going to multiply it with the 9, and then we're going to take it and multiply it by the negative 10b squared. So let's start doing that. So we'll write it out. We have 3b to the fifth, and we're going to multiply that with a 9, and then we're going to take plus 3b to the fifth, and we're going to multiply it by a negative 10b squared. Okay, so now I have two terms, and I'm going to simplify those. So if I look, I have 3 times 9, that's going to give me a 27, and I have a b to the fifth out here. And I'm going to add, I have a 3 times a negative 10, which is a negative 30, and I have a b to the fifth and a b squared. Okay, so I'm not quite done. This term is done, so I have 27b to the fifth, and this just becomes plus minus is just a minus 30. And since since my b's are the same bases, I simply add my exponents, and I get b to the seventh. Okay, so now you ask yourself, well, are we done? So we have two terms, right? A 27b to the fifth, and a negative 30b to the seventh. And if I look, this is the variable part, it's b to the fifth. This is the variable part here, b to the seventh. They're not alike, right? We have different variable parts. Even though they share the same basis, the part themselves are different. One's b to the fifth, one's b to the seventh. So we have to leave it as it is. 27b to the fifth minus 30b to the seventh. And that's my final answer. Okay, let's try another one. In this next problem, I have a monomial out here. I'm just going to go ahead and rewrite this, and I can move it. Remember, multiplication is commutative, so I could rewrite it as 8w squared. I'm going to bring that out front. I tend to like to keep my monomials out front. And times, 4w cubed minus 7w to the fifth. So now I'm going to take my 8w squared and I'm going to multiply it with each term inside the parentheses. So that's going to give me 8w squared times a 4w cubed, and I'm going to have a minus that an 8w squared times a 7w to the fifth. So if I look at this part here, I can take my 8 and my 4, multiply those out, and I get 32. And I have a w squared times a w cubed. And minus, I have 8 times 7 is 56. And I have a w squared and a w to the fifth. So remember, when I have the same basis, I simply add my exponents. So I have 32 w to the fifth, 2 plus 3 is 5, minus 56 w to the seventh. And again, I have different variable parts, so this is as simplified as it gets. All right, let's try one more. Here I have three terms inside, right? So it's no different. I take everything on the outside here and I multiply it to each term on the inside of my parentheses, and I remove my parentheses. So I have 10b to the sixth times 3b to the eighth plus 10b to the sixth times 5b plus 10b to the 6th times 8. So I get 30b to the 6th, b to the 8th, plus 10 times 5 is 50, b to the 6th times b, and I have plus 10 times 8 is 80, b to the 6th. Okay, so now let's simplify. Again, we have these like bases here. I simply have my 30. 6 plus 8 is 14, so I have b to the 14th, plus 50, b to the 6th times b. Remember, if I don't have an exponent, it's assumed to be 1. So I simply have 50 b to the 7th, and then I have plus 80 b to the 6th. So that's my final answer.